What's up you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to receive the latest updates about all my videos as soon as they launch. In this video, we're going to talk about React Native versus Flutter, and I already made a video on this topic and I got a lot of comments and questions from you guys saying I was a little biased towards Flutter, which is true and that was intended, right? If you look at the thumbnail for that video, it says, is Flutter better than React Native? So that video was supposed to be highlighting Flutter over React Native. That was the title of the video, but after doing my keyword research, I found that Flutter versus React Native is a better title. It's more searchable, it's more SEO friendly, so that's why I went with that title. But the goal of that video was to highlight the positives of Flutter over React Native, and I do really feel that React Native deserves a video for its own. So in this video, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to talk about React Native and how it's better than Flutter. So let's get started. So before we get into React Native, I would like to highlight a few facts about mobile apps in general, right? So before understanding React Native or Flutter, one thing you need to understand is the best, most performant and fluid mobile apps will always be native. So if you're looking at the best iOS apps, they will be written in Objective-C or Swift, and the best, most performant Android apps will be always written in Java or Kotlin. The goal for React Native and Flutter is mainly to get as close as possible to that native app experience, right? They want the apps written in React Native and Flutter, which use a single code base, to be as performant and as capable as purely native apps. So if you're looking for the best way to build the mobile app, it has to be native, right? But it needs so many resources. If you're a company and you want to build a mobile app, obviously the best apps will be made with native Android and native iOS code, but it's very expensive to do that. You need to hire teams, have a dedicated iOS team, have a dedicated Android team, and then there will be always this feature parity where the iOS teams comes up with new features and then Android plays catch up, or the other way around. Maintaining two different teams and two different code bases is harder and more expensive. So React Native and Flutter aim to solve this problem by giving you a single code base with which you can maintain both Android and iOS apps at the same time, while also trying to achieve the maximum compatibility and performance and capability as that of the native apps, right? Once you have this in your mind, that when I'm building a mobile app with React Native or Flutter, I'm aiming for the app to be as good as a native app. So having said that, let's look at React Native. React Native basically provides you an interface to write JavaScript code, which will then be mapped to the native components, right? So your React Native components that you write, it will be mapped to native components on iOS and Android. Depending on the way you look at it, it can be an advantage or a disadvantage. If you're coming from a Flutter perspective, Flutter doesn't do this. Flutter doesn't map to native components. Flutter renders its own components on the screen. So your components and your UI will look exactly the same on iOS or Android, whatever device it is. But with React Native, you get the native components, right? So your iOS app will look and feel like an iOS app, and your Android app will look and feel like a native Android app, right? So if you look from my perspective, I would say that's an advantage, because iOS users will feel more at home if your app feels and looks like other iOS apps. And similarly, Android users will feel more at home if your app looks like Android apps. So React Native allows you to use native app components and views and build on top of that using your JavaScript knowledge. So that is an advantage according to me. Another most important feature about React Native that I forgot to mention in the past video was over-the-air updates. So OTA updates basically mean that if your app is built with React Native and you want to update your app, you can push minor updates to your users without having to release them on the Play Store or App Store and asking them to download it from the Play Store, right? Because usually to update your apps, you would go to your Google Play Store or your iOS App Store and click on the update button, and then it will download the new version of the app and install it on your phone. But React Native provides a way for you to push code directly to your users without having them download new app from the App Store. This is very useful in real world scenarios to fix issues fast, even to add new features to an extent, right? It's a little tricky and it's a little advanced concept, but whatever you've done with JavaScript, you can definitely add more JavaScript on top of it over the air, right? So as long as you're not adding a new library or touching some native components, you're good to go. You can update your app with over the air updates. You don't have to build your app and launch it to the Play Store and App Store, get the review done. That's a slow process. Over the air updates are instantaneous. The next time your user opens the app and goes to the internet, you can ask them and update their app on the fly. That's a very big advantage for React Native, which I didn't find in Flutter. There are some third-party packages in Flutter that try to accomplish this, but it doesn't work nearly as well. It doesn't work at all, in fact, in iOS. Maybe going forward they might come up with something, but as of now, I don't think Flutter supports OTA updates as React Native does. So that's a big win for React Native for production apps. Secondly, one of the most important performance benefits that I talked about Flutter is that they render their UI on the screen. So their animations and their rendering is very smooth. But on React Native side, you have two threads. Essentially, you have your native UI thread and you have your JavaScript thread, and there's a JavaScript bridge in between. So what makes an app feel fast and smooth, right? Your rendering and your animations and stuff. In React Native, what would happen is your UI thread would communicate with your JavaScript thread over the bridge for every single frame that's rendered, which sometimes leads to dropped frames on lower end devices. But there are solutions like React Native Reanimated, which allow you to declare your gestures and animations that run on the native thread. So if you use Reanimated for your animations, they will run on the native thread and they will be as smooth as your native animations, right? So if you look at your iOS or Google apps which are native, the animations will be as good as them and as fluid. It would run 60 FPS, whatever, right? Even on the lower end Android devices, it will not be laggy. It will work very smoothly. The only caveat is that Reanimated is an advanced library. You will have to learn it, and there's a slight learning curve to it to write animations and gestures in Reanimated, but it's definitely worth it. It will give you performance as good as native apps, if not better. Alright? There is definitely a way for everything to be done, right? On React Native, you can build a very performant app. You just have to go deep down, be a little more advanced, and these optimizations can be done. For example, your app screens transitioning is slow. You can definitely work on native screens, right? So you can render your native screen or your native view. Inside that, you can render your components or your UI written with React Native, but your container will be native. So that will be fast and that will be better than Flutter, in fact, because it's a native component. React Native allows you to do that very easily. If you want to, mix up your native and your JavaScript code, it works very efficiently. So having good performance with Flutter is easy by default, right? It provides you very good performance by default. On React Native side, you might have to do a little more optimizations, but it's definitely not rocket science, and there are plenty of resources available on the internet for React Native. So that performance difference doesn't really come up in the production apps, because you will obviously optimize your apps for production, right? Another huge advantage for React Native is that it's truly cross-platform, all right? With React Native, you're not just writing iOS and Android apps. Now you can write progressive web apps. So React Native has a web app bundler, which uses Babel and Webpack to build your React Native app as a progressive web app and deploy it on the web. That's a plus. Apart from that, Microsoft is really invested in React Native, which means that they have built a framework, React Native, for Windows and Mac OS. So then you can write your pure native Windows apps and Mac OS apps with React Native, right? So that is a huge win. You can already write Windows and Mac OS apps with React by using Electron, but Electron is basically like a web view. It's a browser that's running your app. But React Native for Windows and Mac OS, it's different. Similar to your mobile apps, React Native components will be mapped to the Windows native components and your Mac OS native components. Windows and Mac OS apps that you write with React Native will be very fast, very performant. If you're on a Windows computer, don't forget to check out the Xbox app for Windows. It's an amazing app and it's written with React Native, and well, Microsoft is really invested in React Native and they've done a bunch of work with TypeScript and React Native, so definitely there's that support. And apart from that, you can write your React Native apps for PlayStation and Xbox and your TVs, Apple TV, Android TV, right? So the community is huge. As I always say, React is the king of the web, and if you learn React and React Native, I think as a software engineer, you can build software for any platform, right? Including wearables, including cars, in fact. So Tesla uses React Native in almost everything. So definitely React Native is very flexible and versatile. Flutter is also trying to accomplish a similar feat, but React Native is miles ahead than Flutter in terms of compatibility with various platforms. So it's a truly cross-platform framework. So for the final verdict, I would go back to the previous video and tell you the same thing, that pick whichever enables you to build your app faster. Alright, that's the simplest answer to that. So if you have even a little experience with web development using HTML, CSS, JavaScript and React, you can easily start developing mobile apps with React Native. And that's a great way to start, right? Because you don't have to learn Dart. On the other hand, if you're a beginner and you don't know anything about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you don't know JavaScript at all, and you're looking to get into mobile development, then Flutter is a great choice, because you will only have to learn Dart. And with that language, you can build cross-platform mobile apps. So that's an advantage for complete beginners. Well, so that's about it. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you had any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Definitely subscribe to my channel for more. And that's it. Thanks for watching.